Hi guys, don't you just love that card? So we're going to make that card today. We are using a brand new stamp set out of the Occasions catalog. It is called Happy Tales. Isn't this stamp set so cute? I love this one. So it also has a coordinating punch that you can buy together with it and bundle and save 10%. So the punch is the dog and a heart with that punch. What you're going to need for supplies would be your Whisper White for your card base. So the card base is A2 size, 5.5 by 8.5, fold at 4 1/4. And then you're going to need a piece of scrap Whisper White. You're going to just stamp out the dog and use the punch to cut that out with a heart. Then you're going to need a piece of this new paper here. This is out of the Occasions. This is Gingham Gala. And it actually comes in 5 different colors. There is Balmy Blue, Daffodil Delight, Grapefruit Grove, Highland Heather, Lemon Lime Twist. So here's the color. You have your color of this paper. You've got the smaller squares, and then here is the larger squares. You actually get 40 sheets of these, 8 each of the colors. So you would need a piece of the Balmy Blue. This one here is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. Then you will also need Real Red and Gray Granite. So this piece here I cut, this is 2 15/16 by 4 1/4. So the 15/16 line, that would be the line just before the 3-inch line. This one here is cut out using the new rectangle stitch shaped framelits. These rectangle shaped framelits, I used the 5th one in this set here, so it's the 5th one counting from the smallest outward. Then another piece of gray granite. This one here is using the stitch shaped framelits. This is the 3rd smallest stitch shaped framelit. And then here's another piece of Real Red. This one is using the scallop shaped framelits, and this is the 5th smallest scallop shaped one. So those are what you're going to need for your cardstock. Ink colors you're going to need today will be Basic Gray, Smoky Slate, Gray Granite, and Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I also will be using Versamark ink and Real Red, the Stampin' Right marker, and clear emboss powder. So the first thing we're going to do is take our piece of scrap Whisper White, and we are going to stamp out the dog on here, this guy right here, and we're just going to stamp him out in Memento Black. I am placing the foam mat down because this is photopolymer, and when you stamp out your dog, you want to make sure you stamp him out so you have enough space to cut out the heart also. The next stamp you're going to want to use are the spots here, and we're going to stamp that out in Gray Granite. But I wanted to show you guys something with these stamp pads. I just found this out the other day by watching somebody else on a video. These open like a compact, so there's a little spot here to open. Sometimes they can be difficult to open. So what you can do is take your 2 thumbs, place it right in the middle on the back side here, and just give it a little press, and it'll pop right open for you. So I thought that was kind of neat, because sometimes I do struggle with opening that. And the other thing, I have a lot of people ask me with the new pads that they have a hard time sliding them in. Because they're brand new, they will slide in awfully hard. So the more you use them, the more you'll work on that, and they will slide better. But in the meantime, you can just take some chapstick and just put it along the sides of your stamp pad right here on both sides. And then this will make that slide in so much easier. So you just slide it in. So that once you, and like I said, once you work your stamp pad, it will get easier. But with that chapstick, it just slides so much better. So I just thought I'd pass that tip along to you guys. So we're going to stamp these spots out here in Gray Granite. And you'll see there's a spot, a bigger spot, the biggest one. That's going to go on his, near his tail. And the other 2, one will line up, this one here will line up on his eye, and then this will be on his chest. So it's pretty easy to line up because they are photopolymer. You can see where you're going to place it. So you just want to stamp that right on your dog. So now you're just going to take your punch and you're just going to line up your dog and punch the dog right out of here. And you're also going to punch out that heart. Once your dog is punched out, then you're going to take the collar in here and you're going to stamp that out with Memento Tuxedo Black. And you're just going to stamp that right on your dog. You're going to bring in your stitch shape oval and we're going to do some stamping on that. You're going to use Memento Black ink to do the stamping. So you're going to use Best Friend leaves a paw print on your heart and you're going to use the little paw print. So you're going to line up your sentiment right in the middle of your oval. Then you're going to take a paw print and put it on each side. So I'm bringing the Stamparatus in here to do my next part of my stamping. I wanted a darker image of the doghouse, and when I stamped it once, I just didn't like that it wasn't dark enough for me. So I'm bringing this in. You're going to use your 2 plates. You're going to take the solid image and the lined image of the doghouse. Solid image is going to go on your gray granite, the rectangle shape. And you're going to put it about in the middle off to the left-hand side. We're going to stamp that out with smoky slate. So you're just going to set it where you want it. Make sure you have a magnet to hold this down. Take your plate, one of your plates, and just pick that up. And what I've done is I put a stamp set underneath the plate. You want to put one under each of them. So you have an even workspace here. So when you ink up your stamp, it's easier to ink up because it's level instead of it being at a diagonal. So you're just going to ink this up again, like I said, with smoky slate. And you're just going to press down on here. And that's okay, but I wanted it a little darker. So that's why I'm using the Stamparatus. If you don't have the Stamparatus, you know, just stamp it out regular. If you don't have the Stamparatus, I don't know why you don't have it. You need to add it to your collection. It is wonderful. So I'm just going to do this twice. Now you want to take your outline of your doghouse and you want to line it up. You'll be able to line that up perfectly because it's photopolymer and you can see right through it. And then once you have it lined up, then you're just going to take your other plate and pick that up. And you're going to use your basic gray on that. And again, I'm going to stamp it out twice just because I want it to be dark. And the great thing about the Stamparatus is if you miss a spot like that, see how I missed that? I can go back in, re-ink it up, and I'm going to get it just perfect on there. Where if you're stamping it with a block, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go back on perfectly. So see, I still didn't get that. So that's going to drive me nuts. So I'm going to do it one more time. And I'm just going to give it a little bit more pressure here. There we go, perfect. So there's your image of your doghouse. That's all you're going to stamp on here. So to clean off your Stamparatus and your stamps, this is the simple chamois, and mine is very well used. But all you do is add water to it, and then you just wipe off your stamps and also the Stamparatus plates, and it comes off, the ink comes off nicely with this. Well, that's it for stamping. So this last little step that I'm doing, I'm making my own embellishment. The little heart that you have, what you want to do is take your real red marker and you just want to color that heart in. So just make sure you have a scrap piece of paper down so that you don't get ink all over your work area. So once you have your little heart all colored in, this is where I bring in my Versamark ink and your clear emboss powder. So I'm just going to dip this on the Versamark ink, and then I'm going to take my clear emboss powder and just cover this with the powder. And I will do this 2 to 3 times, just depending on the look that I want. When I do it once, it's never enough. Usually 2 times is perfect. But with this, you want to take your tweezers and hold it at the very tip of it. so your tweezers aren't going to interfere too much. So you're still holding it. And then just heat this up with your heat gun. And like I said, depending on how much you want it to shine, you want to dip it 1, 2, 3 times. It's up to you. I used 2 coats of embossed powder, clear embossed powder on here. So I'm going to set that aside. So now we're going to bring in all our elements and we're going to start to assemble this card. So the only other element that I'm using in here that you can use if you want to is the Balmy Blue ribbon. These ribbons here are free right now when you spend $50. You get all of these ribbons, and these actually match the colors in the gingham gallon paper. So right now they are currently on back order, but if you order them, you'll still get them once they come off of back order. So I'm using the Balmy Blue to match the gingham, but you don't have to use this. It's just another added element there. And certainly if you have any kind of ribbon, white ribbon or anything to match that, real red would work too. So I'm just going to make a little tie here, a little bow tie, and this is going to go on the front of the card. Now you're going to bring in some liquid mono glue, and I'm taking the little heart, and I've already put a little dab of it right in the middle of the heart on the back side. And then you're just going to take, I found it easier with tweezers, and you're just going to put this right on your dog, right on the 2 little dots below his collar, so it looks like the heart is hanging right off of that. So now I'm going to use Fast Fuse. You can use any kind of glue you want. I just have a lot of Fast Fuse and I love it. I know Stampin' Up no longer makes it, but bring in any adhesive you want to use. And we're going to apply your gingham paper on here. So you just want to decide which side you want, the small squares or the larger squares. So I think I want the small squares on the front of the card. So I'm just going to take my Fast Fuse and I'm just going to go ahead and apply this here. And this is just going to line up on the front of your card. Then we're going to glue these down on your real red so it forms a border on each of them. And then this is going to go on your front of your card. So this will go up towards the top here, and I looked and I just lined it up. There's one full line of your gingham, and I kind of just put the red underneath here and just centered it, because you want enough room down here to put this guy, okay? So you want to just make sure you have enough room there. So then the next thing we'll do is take our dog and our saying here. You're going to put Stampin' Up dimensionals on there because you're going to pop those right up on the front. So you're going to take your dog and just pop him up on the front next to the dog house. And then the sentiment will go right here, and it's going to cover your dog house a little bit. The last touch will be the bow that you made. So I'm just going to use a glue dot just to apply that. And I'm going to apply that right up here in the corner here. And then you just want to go ahead and just trim those ends. So there's your card, super cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed this card, and if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. And I hope you guys are taking advantage of occasions right now. It's going through March 31st, and you guys can get all kinds of free products during this time. Please subscribe below. And don't forget to ring that bell. I also offer a newsletter that I would love for you to sign up for. You will get 30 free card ideas just for signing up. Thanks for watching.